Welcome to Momatize Your Passion, a podcast for moms looking to turn their passions into online brands that serve others. I'm Tara Lon, a content strategist with over 10 years of experience creating viral content seen by millions. I'm here to help you grow your brand and reach the people God has called you to serve. Welcome to the show. Hello again. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about content pillars and the advantages of having them for your brand. So if you have a brand or a business, then you should be creating content to bring people to your brand. But you don't want to be creating content willy-nilly. You actually want to have a strategic plan in place. And having content pillars allows you to do that. So in this episode, I'm going to take you inside of my membership, Passion to Purpose Collective, where I give a live training on how you can actually determine the content pillars for your brand. So hopefully this episode will resonate with you. There's a lot of great information in here, and let's just get right into it. So it is important to create content as a brand owner, a business owner, because when you create content, that is how people will come to your brand. And whether you like it or not, we're all content creators. Like if you're creating content for a podcast, a blog, social media, etc., a newsletter, you're creating this content because you're trying to bring people to your brand. So because we are creating content on a regular basis, we know how hard it is to create content. It takes a lot of work. So because of that, we want to make sure we're strategic with the type of content that we do create. So that's why it's important to have content pillars for your brand. And when you have content pillars for your brand, it really just helps you to stay organized with what you are creating instead of just being all over the place. Because when I first started my brand 11 years ago, I was literally on every platform known to man. Twitter at the time, Facebook, Instagram. There was something called Google something. I can't remember the name of it. They're out of business. Pinterest. Whatever social media platform was available, I was on it. And I was spread so thin. Like I didn't have any type of roadmap. I was just posting just to post. So when you do know your content pillars, you're actually more strategic. And when you are clear on your content pillars, then you'll start attracting your right audience because they'll start expecting the type of content that you produce on a regular basis. It'll make sense because it'll be like a theme, like a content pillar is like a content theme. And ideally, you want to have 3 to 5 content pillars that you talk about on a regular basis. So you can use this interchangeably. You can use these content pillars for your podcast, your blog, for social media posts, for your membership. And again, it helps you to be able to stay strategic with your content. It attracts your ideal audience. It converts followers because they trust you and they begin to see you as the expert in your field. And it really is what brings people to your brand, as I mentioned earlier. So again, what are content pillars? Content pillars are the 3 to 5 main topics your brand talks about consistently. And they help you know what to post, what to teach, what to promote on a regular basis. So if you want to go to your brand growth planner under content pillars, because I'll have you start just brainstorming on what you think your content pillars are. So let's just talk about social media, for example, because we know social media can be very difficult. The algorithms, they change so much. You never know who's going to see your content. When you start posting things on a regular basis, like within content pillars, then the algorithm actually starts to understand who you are. So it's almost like you're training the algorithm to know who you are, and then they'll begin to show your content to the right people because you're training them to do that. And I know I'm at fault too, where, especially social media, I'll just post what I want to post sometimes, and I'm not really training the algorithm. But if we can get consistent with the 3 to 5 content pillars, then we'll have a better opportunity for the algorithm to show our content to more people. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples so you see what I'm talking about. So let's say I'm a podcast coach. So these are the 4 content pillars that you could have. So the first content pillar could be podcast strategy and planning. So you can go ahead again and look at your brand growth planner. And then what are the topics that you're going to have under that content pillar? So for example, again, if your brand is a podcast coach, some of the topics that you can have: how to choose a niche, how to plan episodes, how to create content calendars. And that is all under content pillar number 1. Content pillar number 2, for example, is podcast production and tools. So that's the pillar. So what topics are you going to have under that pillar? Some examples are maybe it's microphones or recording software, or maybe editing tips or recording workflows. The third content pillar, if you're a podcast coach, could be audience growth and marketing. And again, some topics could be promoting your podcast, growing listeners, social media strategy, repurposing content. And then a fourth content pillar could be monetization and brand opportunities. And there's many topics you can talk about under that. Maybe it's sponsorships, affiliate marketing, product promotion, creating offers through podcasting. So that's just one idea. I'm going to give you another example. Okay, so let's say you're a life coach for Christian women, which we have some of those people here. So these are some sample content pillars. The first one could be faith and identity. And some of the topics you can have are identity in Christ, renewing the mind, biblical truth versus cultural lies. Pillar 2 could be life coaching and personal growth. Some of the topics under that could be goal setting, decision making, overcoming fear, building healthy habits. Content pillar number 3, let's say it's emotional wellness and mindset. Some of the topics you can have underneath that could be managing stress, healing from past wounds, boundaries, self-worth. And then a fourth content pillar could be purpose, calling, and obedience. And then some topics could be discovering God's calling, trusting God's timing, or taking faith-led action. And again, these content pillars could be used across your platforms. So you can use this for your podcasts, you can use it for YouTube, social media, your newsletter, like whatever it is. And then you can repurpose your content, of course. Let's say your podcast episode is based on content pillar number 1. You can repurpose that for social media and make it a smaller segment of the long form content that you're promoting. So how do you find your content pillars? So I'm going to go back to the framework that I always talk about. I talk about this so much. So the first thing is to find your niche. Like, what is that smaller segment of a larger audience that you're trying to capture? Like, even if you are a podcast coach or a life coach for Christians, like, what is a smaller segment? Like, is it midlife women, career women? So you want to find a smaller segment that you're trying to capture. Because when you create this content is going to resonate with that segment of the market. So my niche has always been moms, Christian moms, just over the years. You know, it's changed and evolved over the years, but at the heart of it, it's always been moms, Christian moms. So even when I do post content, I do post a lot of things about moms and like funny mom videos. And I know that resonates with my audience. So when you're creating content, if you are clear on your niche and the segment that you're trying to capture, when you're creating this content, it's going to resonate with them. So the next step when you're trying to figure out your content pillars is to define your target audience. And that does go hand in hand with figuring out your niche, because that helps you to narrow down your target audience. Like, what demographic are they in? Like, maybe they're in a different stage of life, and there's some content that might resonate with them better than other types of content. Like, maybe you're thinking about, what keeps them up at night? What do they desire most for their brand or just in life? And then the next step is to figure out what you can actually talk about on a consistent basis. Like, what do you feel comfortable talking about? Like, what do you enjoy talking about, or what are you passionate about? Especially things that you feel called or experienced in. And then the fourth step is to group similar topics together. And that's when you start forming your pillars. Like, sometimes I call them content themes. You can call them a content theme or your pillar. And then you're trying to figure out 3 to 5 pillars that you could start rotating on a regular basis. Like, one of my pillars is organic marketing. And I have so many different types of organic marketing strategies underneath that one pillar that I can talk about, whether it's blogging or podcasting or getting on the local media, but it's all under that one content pillar. Yeah, so you can definitely have several different topics under one content pillar. So hopefully that was helpful for you. That was just a little clip of my membership and just a lesson that I taught. If you are interested in a community like this where you can grow your online brand in a supportive environment, then you are welcome to check out the Passion to Purpose Collective. I will have a link in the show notes. We meet twice per month. I give live coaching, training. Members ask questions and we support each other. I talk about SEO strategies, organic marketing, and different ways to strategically draw people to your brand. It doesn't matter if you're just starting your brand or if you're looking to start a brand, or if you are mid-level and you just need guidance, you are welcome. So if you're a Christian woman looking to grow your online brand and you think this could benefit you, then I will have a link in the show notes. Go ahead and check it out. Maybe we'll see you in the membership. All right. Thanks so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode and you know of someone else who could use this, would you do me a favor and share this with them? My prayer is that you will pursue your God-led passions so you can make a positive impact in the world. Until next time.